On the eve of my wedding, I stood at the edge of forever, torn between the thrill of my past and the promise of a steady future. Then, a cryptic note from my fiancé arrived with 3 strangers, offering a night to redefine love and trust. What unfolded would challenge everything I thought I knew about commitment. Would you dare to step into the unknown? If you're hooked on stories that test the limits of love, hit like and subscribe. New here? Welcome. Dive in and let this tale spark your imagination. In a quiet suite at the Fairmont Hotel in San Francisco, I paced the floor, the weight of tomorrow pressing against my chest. The gown shimmered in its garment bag. The rings rested in their velvet box, and my vows, half written, sat on the nightstand, taunting me. Sleep was a distant hope. Tomorrow, I, Claire, would stand before Nathan and pledge my life to him. His voice lingered in my mind, warm and teasing. We'll keep the spark alive, always. I'd smiled at his confidence, but now, alone in the dim glow of the room, uncertainty gnawed at me. Could a marriage hold the wild energy of my past? The late nights, the untamed adventures, the pulse of freedom. They felt so far from the life I was about to embrace. Was I ready to let that part of me go? A soft rap at the door jolted me from my spiral. I crossed the room, heart thudding, and opened it to find 3 men standing in the corridor. One had a cascade of tattoos winding up his neck, a silent story etched in ink. Another, with gray flecks in his hair and a calm intensity in his eyes, seemed to anchor the group. The third, tall and solid, carried a quiet strength that filled the space around him. They stood wordless, their presence heavy with purpose. The tattooed man extended a small envelope, my name written in Nathan's unmistakable script. I opened it with trembling fingers. You said you'd miss the thrill. Let this night prove we'll never lose it. Savor it, my love. I'll be waiting at the altar. The older man spoke, his voice steady as a heartbeat. We're here for you, Claire. His words carried no hesitation, only certainty, as if this moment had been carefully planned. I stepped back, letting them cross the threshold. The door closed with a soft click, and the air shifted, charged with something unspoken. I held the note, searching its words for guidance, but it offered only trust. My breath hitched as I faced them, trying to mask my nerves with a smile. So, did Nathan find you here in San Francisco, or are you from out of town? I asked, my voice lighter than I felt. The gray-haired man tilted his head, his gaze kind but direct. No need for pleasantries, he said softly. I let out a nervous laugh, a mix of excitement and uncertainty bubbling up. Then I moved toward them, my steps slow but deliberate, shedding the hesitation that had clung to me moments before. As I passed, a hand brushed my shoulder. Another grazed my wrist, their touches gentle yet purposeful, like they were tracing the outline of my courage. My robe slipped away, falling silently to the floor, leaving me exposed but unafraid. A breath warmed the curve of my neck, sending a shiver down my spine. Another hand found my waist, steady and warm, igniting a spark I hadn't realized I craved. A kiss met my lips, slow, deliberate, inviting me to lean into the moment. I did without fear. Their touches grew more confident, a rhythm of exploration and connection. I didn't pull back. One guided me gently, his hand resting at the base of my neck, drawing me into a shared pulse. I followed, my heart pounding with a mix of trust and desire. They shed their jackets, shirts following, revealing skin marked by strength and stories, each movement deliberate, alive with intention. I stepped closer, my hands steady as I unfastened their belts, the quiet clink of metal blending with the hum of anticipation. Silence held us together, words unnecessary. I moved with purpose, my lips finding the first man, lingering as I set a rhythm that felt like my own. My hands reached for the others, drawing them near, weaving us into a single moment. I turned to the older man, his touch grounding me as I followed his lead, his breath quickening in response. The tall one waited, his presence patient but charged. When I met him, his fingers grazed my cheek, soft at first, then firm, as I matched his intensity with my own. They encircled me, a storm of warmth and motion, their hands threading through my hair, steadying my shoulders, guiding me as I moved. When my strength wavered, the tattooed man lifted me with ease, carrying me to the bed with a care that felt both tender and possessive. He laid me across the sheets, and one knelt before me, his touch reverent, exploring with a focus that felt like a quiet devotion. Another drew near, his presence steady at my lips, my hands bracing against him as we found a shared rhythm. The third lingered close, his touch tracing slow paths across my skin, drawing a gasp I couldn't hold back. I was enveloped, every sense alight, every boundary softened. The man before me rose, his eyes locking with mine, intense and unspoken. He shifted closer, his body aligning with mine, hovering just above. My breath caught, suspended in the weight of the moment. I was open, unguarded, moving with them in a rhythm that felt both overwhelming and inevitable. One beneath me, steady and sure, another at my lips, and a third tracing my skin with careful hunger. Each motion pulled me deeper, their breaths weaving with mine, a pulse that bound us together. I let go, my voice escaping in soft moans, my hands seeking connection across skin and sheets. I didn't want to hold back. I wanted everything. The one at my lips stepped back, his touch lingering on my cheek before he moved lower. The man before me withdrew, and their eyes met briefly, a silent understanding. Another took his place, his presence, heavier, slower, pulling me into a new rhythm. My body adjusted, instinctively meeting his intensity. His grip was firm, his breath uneven, each motion charged with need. The others stayed close, their touches trailing across my skin, grounding me in the chaos of sensation. I was alive, stretched across every moment, chasing the fire that burned between us. One lay back on the bed, arms open, inviting. They guided me to him, and I settled into his embrace, my knees finding balance as I moved with him. His hands steadied my waist, his eyes holding mine like nothing else existed. Then, another presence behind me, his touch gentle but sure, tilting me forward. I braced myself, one hand on the man beneath me, the other reaching for balance as the third stepped closer, standing before me. My lips parted for him, instinctive and unafraid. Behind me, the second man moved with careful precision, a slow build that stole my breath. I gasped, my fingers tightening, caught in a rhythm that consumed me some. I was held, surrounded, moving without thought, lost in the tide of sensation. When it crested, it wasn't a fall, it was surrender, a release that left me weightless. Later, I lay tangled in the sheets, my breath uneven, my body humming with the afterglow. Tomorrow, I'd stand before Nathan and say I do. He'd promised a life that would never dim, and this night was his proof, a testament to trust, a fire we'd keep burning together. This wasn't betrayal, it was a vow of its own, a shared understanding that our love could hold space for the wild, the unexpected. What do you think? Can this marriage thrive on such bold trust, or does this night teeter on the edge of chaos? Share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more stories that ignite your curiosity. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for listening. Please share your thoughts, like this video if you found it helpful, and subscribe for more.